The harsh winds of Kepler 186 F howled across the barren landscape, whipping up clouds of reddish dust that obscured the dim light of the distant sun. Dr. Elena Reyes squinted through her helmet's visor, struggling to make out the strange formation jutting from the ground ahead. As the lead xenorchaeologist on humanity's first interstellar expedition, she had been prepared for many possibilities, but nothing could have readied her for what lay before them. "Captain Chen, I think you need to see this," Elena called into her comm, her voice trembling with a mixture of excitement and trepidation. Within moments, the rest of the small exploration team had gathered around the object. It stood nearly 3 meters tall, its smooth, opalescent surface a stark contrast to the rugged terrain surrounding it. Intricate patterns swirled across its surface, pulsing with a faint blue-green light. "It's definitely not natural," muttered Dr. Yuki Tanaka, the team's xenobiologist. She ran a scanner over the artifact, frowning at the results. "I'm not detecting any known elements in its composition. This is completely alien." Captain Li Chen nodded gravely, his weathered face etched with concern. "All right, let's proceed with caution. Dr. Rice, what's your assessment?" Elena approached the artifact slowly, her heart pounding. As a child, she had dreamed of this moment, the discovery of irrefutable proof that humanity was not alone in the universe. Now that it was here, she felt almost overwhelmed by the magnitude of what they had found. "It appears to be some kind of beacon or monument," she said, carefully examining the patterns. "These markings, they're not random. It's a language or at least a form of communication." As if in response to her words, the pulsing light intensified. The team stepped back instinctively as a holographic display sprang to life above the artifact. Strange, flowing symbols danced in the air, accompanied by a series of musical tones. "It's activating," Yuki exclaimed, her eyes wide with wonder. "But how? We didn't touch anything." Elena's mind raced. It must be responding to our presence, or perhaps our language. She stepped forward again, her voice clear and steady. "Hello, we come in peace." The holographic display shifted, the alien symbols morphing into recognizable letters and numbers. A message appeared. "Greetings, explorers. Your journey has awakened the beacon of Zephyrus. We have awaited this moment for eons." A stunned silence fell over the team. Captain Chen was the first to find his voice. "Dr. Reyes, are you seeing what I'm seeing?" "It's responding in English." Elena nodded, her excitement building. It must have some kind of universal translation capability. This technology is far beyond anything we've ever encountered. As they watched in awe, the message continued. "We are the Zephyrians, guardians of the galactic core. Your species has passed the first test by achieving interstellar travel. We extend an invitation to join the greater community of sentient beings." Yuki laughed in disbelief. "An invitation? To what, a galactic federation? This is incredible." But Captain Chen's expression remained cautious. "Let's not get ahead of ourselves. We don't know anything about these Zephyrians or their intentions." Elena understood the captain's reservations, but she couldn't help feeling a sense of hope and wonder. This was why she had joined the expedition, to push the boundaries of human knowledge and forge connections with the unknown. "Captain," she said, her voice filled with determination, "I believe we should accept their invitation. This could be the greatest opportunity humanity has ever encountered." Chen sighed, running a hand through his graying hair. "You're right, of course. But we need to inform Earth first. This discovery changes everything." As if sensing their decision, the artifact emitted a bright pulse of energy that shot into the sky. The team watched in amazement as the beam disappeared into the stars. "I think," Elena said softly, "that whether we're ready or not, first contact has already begun." For 3 tense days, the human expedition team waited on Kepler 186 F, their eyes constantly scanning the alien sky. The artifact remained silent, its pulsing light a constant reminder of the message that had changed the course of human history. Back on Earth, Governments and scientific institutions scrambled to process the news and prepare for the possibility of alien contact. On the fourth day, as the dim sun of Kepler 186f began to set, a shimmering distortion appeared in the upper atmosphere. Captain Chen immediately called the team to alert status, unsure whether to expect a peaceful emissary or an invasion force. All personnel, maintain calm and remember your training. Chen's steady voice came through the comm system. Dr. Rice, Dr. Tanaka, I want you front and center. If these are the Zephyrians, your expertise will be crucial. Elena and Yuki exchanged nervous glances as they positioned themselves beside the captain. The distortion in the sky grew larger, resolving into a sleek, silver vessel that defied conventional aerodynamics. It descended with impossible grace, touching down on the planet's surface with barely a whisper. For several long moments, nothing happened. The human team stood in tense silence, weapons at the ready despite their hopes for a peaceful encounter. Then, with a soft hiss, a portal materialized in the side of the alien craft. A tall, willowy figure emerged, its form obscured by a shimmering, translucent membrane that seemed to ripple with colors. As it approached, Elena could make out more details. 4 limbs, a humanoid shape, but with elongated proportions, and a head that tapered to a point. The alien stopped a few meters from the human team and raised a hand in what seemed to be a gesture of peace. Then, to everyone's shock, it spoke in perfect English. Greetings, children of Earth. I am Zorax, emissary of the Zephyrian Collective. We welcome you to the greater galactic community. Captain Chen stepped forward, his voice steady despite the momentous occasion. On behalf of humanity, we return your greeting, Zorax. I am Captain Li Chen of the Earth Exploration Vessel Horizon. We come in peace and with a desire to learn. Zorax's membrane shifted, revealing glowing eyes that seemed to radiate intelligence and curiosity. Your journey here shows great promise, Captain Chen. The beacon of Zephyrus has judged your species worthy of contact. We have much to share with you. Elena could barely contain her excitement. As a xenorchaeologist, the opportunity to learn from a living alien civilization was beyond her wildest dreams. She stepped forward, her scientific curiosity overriding her apprehension. Zorax, if I may ask, how long have the Zephyrians been observing Earth? And what can you tell us about the other civilizations in our galaxy? The alien's membrane rippled in what might have been amusement. Ah, the quest for knowledge. It is a trait we value highly, Dr. Reyes. To answer your first question, we have been aware of Earth's development for several of your millennia. As for other civilizations, there are many, each unique and wondrous in their own way. But such knowledge comes with great responsibility. Captain Chen nodded solemnly. We understand, Zorax. Humanity has much to learn about being part of a larger galactic community. We're prepared to take that responsibility seriously. Zorax seemed to consider this for a moment before responding. Your words are encouraging, Captain. However, words must be matched by actions. The Zephyrian Collective proposes an exchange, a sharing of knowledge and culture that will help prepare humanity for the challenges and opportunities that lie ahead. As Zorax spoke, more Zephyrians emerged from the ship, each carrying what appeared to be advanced technological devices. The human team watched in awe as the aliens began to set up what looked like a temporary research station. This exchange, Zorax continued, will be the first step in a journey that will reshape your civilization. Are you prepared to take that step, humans of Earth? In the weeks that followed, the human expedition base on Kepler 186 transformed into a hub of unprecedented interspecies collaboration. The Zephyrians, true to their word, began sharing knowledge that spanned fields from advanced physics to philosophy, challenging and expanding human understanding of the universe. Elena found herself working closely with a Zephyrian scientist named Lyra, whose expertise in ancient civilizations rivaled her own. Together, they pored over data from long-extinct species, piecing together the complex tapestry of galactic history. It's astounding, Elena mused one day, examining a holographic representation of an alien city that had flourished millions of years ago. So many civilizations have risen and fallen, and yet the galaxy continues to nurture new life. Lyra's membrane shimmered with what Elena had come to recognize as agreement. The cycle of cosmic evolution is both beautiful and relentless, Elena. It is why the Zephyrian Collective works to preserve knowledge and guide younger species. We hope to break the cycle of destruction that has claimed so many. As Elena absorbed this, she couldn't help but wonder about humanity's place in this grand cosmic drama. Lyra, do you think Earth is ready for this level of advancement? Sometimes I worry we're moving too fast. The Zephyrian scientist considered this for a moment. Growth is never without risk, Elena. But from what we have observed, humans possess a remarkable adaptability. It is one of the traits that drew our attention. Meanwhile, Dr. Tanaka had immersed herself in studying Zephyrian biology, marveling at their unique cellular structure that allowed them to adapt to various environments. Captain Chen, for his part, engaged in long discussions with Zorax about interstellar politics and the responsibilities that came with advanced technology. As the exchange of knowledge deepened, so did the personal bonds between the two species. Humans and Zephyrians found common ground in their shared curiosity about the universe and their drive to explore and understand. However, not everything progressed smoothly. Some members of the human team struggled with the rapid influx of new information and technology. Lieutenant Sarah Okoro, the team's security chief, voiced concerns about potential military applications of Zephyrian tech. "Captain," she said during a private meeting, "I'm worried we're not fully considering the implications of this exchange. What if this knowledge falls into the wrong hands back on Earth?" Chen nodded, understanding her concerns. "You're right to be cautious, Lieutenant. We need to ensure we have proper safeguards in place. I'll speak with Zorax about implementing security protocols for the most sensitive information." As the first month of the exchange neared its end, the Zephyrians proposed taking the next step, inviting a human delegation to visit their homeworld. The news sent waves of excitement through the team, but also raised new questions and concerns. Elena found herself grappling with mixed emotions. The opportunity to see an alien world was beyond her wildest dreams, but she also felt a deep responsibility to ensure that this new relationship between humans and Zephyrians remained balanced and beneficial for both sides. One evening, as Kepler 186f's dim sun set on the horizon, Elena stood outside the base, gazing up at the unfamiliar stars. Lyra approached, her membrane glowing softly in the twilight. "Your thoughts seem heavy, Elena," the Zephyrian observed. Elena sighed, trying to articulate her feelings. "I'm excited about the future we're building together, Lyra, but I'm also afraid. Humanity has a long history of misusing power and knowledge. What if we're not ready for this leap?" Lyra's form shimmered in what Elena had come to recognize as a gesture of reassurance. "Every species faces such doubts, Elena. It is in confronting them that true growth occurs. The path ahead may be challenging, but you do not walk it alone." As Elena pondered these words, a bright streak of light flashed across the alien sky, a reminder of the vast, unknown universe that awaited them. Whatever challenges lay ahead, humanity had taken its first steps into a larger world, and there was no turning back. As the Human-Zephyrian alliance flourished, whispers of their collaboration began to spread across the galaxy. Most species regarded this development with cautious optimism or indifference. However, in the distant Vormax system, the news was met with growing alarm. The Vormaxians, a militaristic species known for their aggressive expansion, saw the emergence of humanity on the galactic stage as a potential threat to their dominance. Their supreme commander, Krax, called an emergency meeting of the Vormaxian High Council. "This human-Zephyrian alliance cannot be allowed to grow unchecked," Krax growled, his scaled skin bristling with agitation. "The humans are advancing too quickly under Zephyrian guidance. We must act now before they become a true rival." Meanwhile, unaware of the brewing storm, The first human delegation prepared to depart for the Zephyrian homeworld. Elena, Dr. Tanaka, and Captain Chen were among those chosen for this historic journey. As they boarded the Zephyrian vessel, a mix of excitement and apprehension filled the air. The journey through hyperspace was unlike anything the humans had experienced. Elena watched in awe as stars streaked by in a dazzling display of light and color. Zorax explained that they were traveling through dimensional folds, a concept that challenged everything humans understood about physics. Upon reaching Zephyria, the human delegates were struck speechless. The planet was a vibrant blue-green orb, surrounded by a network of orbital structures that glittered like a constellation. As they descended, Elena marveled at the sweeping architecture of the Zephyrian cities, which seemed to blend seamlessly with the natural environment. "Welcome to our home," Zorax said, a note of pride in their voice. "Here, you will learn more about our history, our society, and the principles that guide the collective." Over the next few days, the humans were introduced to various aspects of Zephyrian culture. They attended council meetings, visited research facilities, and even participated in a traditional Zephyrian celebration of cosmic harmony. During a tour of the Zephyrian Defense Academy, however, the mood suddenly shifted. An urgent message interrupted their guide, and Zorax was quickly pulled aside. When they returned, their membrane pulsed with visible concern. "I apologize, but we must cut this tour short," Zorax announced. "A situation has arisen that requires immediate attention." Captain Chen, sensing the gravity of the moment, stepped forward. "Zorax, if there's any way we can assist, please let us know. Our alliance should extend to times of crisis as well." Zorax seemed to consider this for a moment before nodding. "Your offer is appreciated, Captain. Please, join us in the command center. What I have to share concerns Earth as well." As they hurried through the corridors of the Defense Academy, Elena's mind raced with possibilities. What could be so urgent that it would interrupt their carefully planned visit? In the command center, a holographic display showed a map of the galaxy. Several red markers pulsed ominously near the borders of Zephyrian space. "We've detected a large fleet of Formaxian warships mobilizing," Zorax explained, their voice grave. "Our intelligence suggests they see our alliance with humanity as a threat and are preparing for a preemptive strike." The human delegates exchanged worried glances. They had been briefed on various alien species, including the Formaxians, but the prospect of an actual conflict seemed surreal. "How much time do we have?" Captain Chen asked, slipping easily into his role as a military strategist. "Based on their current trajectory, we estimate they will reach the outer colonies within 2 standard weeks," a Zephyrian tactical officer reported. Zorax turned to the human delegates, their membrane rippling with determination. "We had hoped to introduce you to the galactic community gradually, but circumstances have forced our hand. Humanity now faces its first interstellar crisis. The question is, are you ready to stand with us against this threat?" The next few days were a whirlwind of activity as humans and Zephyrians scrambled to prepare for the impending Formaxian threat. Captain Chen, working closely with Zephyrian military strategists, helped coordinate a joint defense plan. His years of experience in Earth's Navy proved invaluable in bridging the gap between human and Zephyrian military doctrine. Meanwhile, Elena and Dr. Tanaka found themselves in an unexpected role. Their deep understanding of both human and Zephyrian cultures made them essential in facilitating communication and cooperation between the two species. "We need to accelerate the integration of Zephyrian technology with our systems," Elena argued during a strategy meeting. "It's our best chance at leveling the playing field against the Formaxians." Zorax nodded in agreement. "We will provide you with our latest defensive systems. However, there is a risk in advancing your technology too quickly. Are you prepared for the consequences?" Captain Chen's face was grim but determined. "We don't have much choice. Earth's defenses won't stand a chance against the Formaxians without this upgrade." As the days passed, a small fleet of Earth's most advanced ships arrived at Zephyria, their crews wide-eyed at the alien world, but ready to face the coming storm. Zephyrian engineers worked tirelessly to integrate their technology with the human vessels, enhancing their weapons, shields, and propulsion systems beyond anything humanity had dreamed possible. Dr. Tanaka found herself working closely with Zephyrian biologists to develop countermeasures against potential Vormaxian biological weapons. Their physiology is so different from anything we've encountered, she mused, examining a holographic model of a Vormaxian. We need to be prepared for anything. Elena, for her part, delved deep into Zephyrian historical records, searching for any information on past conflicts with the Vormaxians. Know your enemy, she muttered, poring over ancient battle accounts. As the deadline approached, tension mounted. The combined human-Zephyrian fleet assembled in orbit around Zephyria, a motley array of sleek Zephyrian ships and the more rugged human vessels. Despite the enhancements, the human ships still looked outdated compared to their allies, a stark reminder of how new humanity was to this galactic stage. Captain Chen stood on the bridge of the flagship, the newly christened HSS Unity, marveling at how far they had come in such a short time. Just months ago, they had been celebrating the discovery of an alien artifact. Now they were preparing to fight alongside aliens to defend not just Earth, but the entire sector. Status report, Chen called out, his voice steady despite the pressure. All systems operational, Captain, his XO reported. Zephyrian upgrades are functioning within expected parameters. The fleet is ready for your command. Chen nodded, then opened a channel to the entire fleet. To all ships, human and Zephyrian alike. The enemy approaches, threatening not just our worlds, but the peace of this entire sector. We may come from different stars, but today, we stand united. Whatever happens, it has been an honor to serve with you all. As Chen finished speaking, alarms blared across the fleet. The tactical officer's voice was tense. Multiple hyperspace signatures detected. The Vormaxian fleet has arrived. On the main view screen, space itself seemed to tear open as hundreds of Vormaxian warships emerged from hyperspace. Their ships were dark, angular constructs that seemed to absorb the light around them, a stark contrast to the graceful Zephyrian vessels and utilitarian human ships. Chen took a deep breath, steeling himself for what was to come. All ships, battle stations, may fortune favor the bold. As the two fleets faced each other across the void, the fate of Earth, Zephyria, and the entire sector hung in the balance. The battle for the future of the galaxy was about to begin. The void of space erupted into chaos as the human-Zephyrian alliance clashed with the Vormaxian Armada. Beams of energy crisscrossed the battlefield, while swarms of fighters darted between capital ships like angry insects. The HSS Unity, at the heart of the Allied fleet, shuddered under the assault of Vormaxian weapons. Shields holding at 80%, the tactical officer reported, her voice steady despite the chaos. Zephyrian upgrades are performing beyond expectations. Captain Chen nodded grimly. Concentrate fire on their lid ships. We need to disrupt their command structure. As the Unity's enhanced weapons lashed out, slicing through Vormaxian shields with surprising effectiveness, Elena and Dr. Tanaka worked frantically in the ship's lab. Their research into Vormaxian weaknesses had yielded an unexpected discovery, a frequency that seemed to disrupt Vormaxian neural networks. If we can amplify this signal, Elena explained, her fingers flying over the console, we might be able to temporarily incapacitate their crews. Dr. Tanaka nodded, making rapid adjustments to the emitter. It's a long shot, but it might give us the edge we need. Back on the bridge, the battle raged on. Zephyrian ships danced gracefully through the Vormaxian formation, their advanced maneuverability allowing them to strike and fade before the enemy could retaliate. Human ships, though less agile, provided heavy fire support, their newly upgraded weapons punching through Vormaxian defenses. Yet despite their valiant efforts, the sheer number of Vormaxian ships was overwhelming. One by one, Allied ships winked out of existence, overwhelmed by the relentless assault. Captain, Zorax's voice crackled over the comm. Our left flank is collapsing. We cannot hold this position much longer. Chen's mind raced, searching for a solution. Then, Alina's voice cut through the chaos. "Captain, we've done it. We're ready to deploy the neural disruptor." "Do it," Chen ordered without hesitation. A pulse of invisible energy radiated from the Unity, washing over the battlefield. For a moment, nothing seemed to happen. Then, Vormaxian ships began to drift, their coordinated assault falling into disarray. "It's working," Dr. Tanaka exclaimed. "Their neural networks are scrambled." Chen seized the moment. "All ships, this is our chance. Concentrate all fire on their flagship." The Allied fleet responded with a devastating barrage. Vormaxian ships, their crews disoriented and uncoordinated, failed to mount an effective defense. The massive Vormaxian flagship, a behemoth of dark metal and crackling energy, shuddered under the combined assault. For a breathless moment, it seemed to hold. Then, with a silent flash that lit up the battlefield, it exploded. The shockwave rippled through the Vormaxian fleet, destroying smaller ships and damaging many others. A cheer went up across the Allied comms. The Vormaxian assault had been broken. As the remaining enemy ships began to retreat, jumping to hyperspace in disarray, the full magnitude of what they had accomplished began to sink in. Human and Zephyrian crews alike celebrated their victory, the bonds forged in battle transcending the differences between their species. On the bridge of the Unity, Captain Chen allowed himself a small smile. "Well done, everyone," he said, his voice filled with pride. "We've won the day." As the adrenaline of battle faded, Alina looked out at the starfield, still littered with debris from the fight. They had faced their first galactic threat and emerged victorious. But she couldn't help wondering what other challenges awaited them in this vast, unknown universe. In the days following the battle, as the combined fleet limped back to Zephyria for repairs, the full impact of their victory began to sink in. The defeat of the Vormaxian Armada had not only secured the safety of Earth and Zephyria, but had also reshaped the balance of power in the sector. As the HSS Unity docked at the massive Zephyrian space station, Captain Chen stood with Alina and Dr. Tanaka, watching the bustling activity of humans and Zephyrians working side by side to repair damaged ships. "It's remarkable," Alina mused, "how quickly we've adapted to working together. Just a few months ago, we didn't even know aliens existed." Chen nodded, a thoughtful expression on his face. "War has a way of accelerating things. But you're right, this alliance has become something more than just a military necessity." Their reflections were interrupted by the arrival of Zorax, accompanied by a delegation of high-ranking Zephyrian officials. The alien's membrane shimmered with what the humans had come to recognize as excitement. "My friends," Zorax began, "your bravery and ingenuity in the face of the Vormaxian threat has impressed not just the Zephyrian collective, but many other species in the sector. We've received communications from several civilizations expressing interest in establishing diplomatic relations with Earth." The news left the humans momentarily speechless. Dr. Tanaka was the first to find her voice. "This is incredible. The scientific and cultural exchange possibilities are endless." Chen, ever the pragmatist, raised a concern. "And what of the Vormaxians? Will they regroup and attack again?" Zorax's membrane rippled in what might have been a shrug. "Our intelligence suggests their defeat has sparked internal conflicts. It may be some time before they pose a threat again. However, this brings me to our proposal." The humans listened intently as Zorax outlined the Zephyrian collective's vision for the future, a formalized alliance between Earth, Zephyria, and other peaceful species in the sector. This alliance would facilitate cultural and technological exchange, mutual defense, and collaborative exploration of the galaxy. Essentially, Zorax concluded, we're inviting humanity to take its place as a full member of the galactic community. The implications were staggering. Alina's mind raced with the possibilities and the challenges that lay ahead. "This will change everything," she said softly. "Earth's cultures, our economies, our understanding of the universe. Nothing will be the same. Chen nodded solemnly. It's a big step. The kind of step that defines the course of a civilization. Are we ready for it? As they debated the pros and cons, Dr. Tanaka's eyes lit up with sudden inspiration. You know, this reminds me of something I read in the Zephyrian historical archives. Many species faced similar crossroads in their development. Those that embraced connection and cooperation tended to thrive, while those that chose isolation often stagnated. Zorax's membrane pulsed with approval. Your insight serves you well, Dr. Tanaka. It is precisely this kind of wisdom that convinces us humanity is ready for this step. After a moment of contemplation, Chen spoke, his voice filled with determination. We'll need to consult with Earth's governments, of course. But speaking for this expedition, I believe we should accept your proposal. The galaxy is vast and full of wonders and dangers. We'll face them better together than alone. As the others nodded in agreement, Alina felt a surge of excitement and hope. They stood on the threshold of a new era for humanity. One filled with challenges, certainly, but also with unprecedented opportunities for growth and discovery. Looking out at the stars visible through the station's massive viewport, Alina smiled. The universe had just gotten a whole lot bigger, and humanity's adventure was only beginning.